It is truly an honor to be here with you today. Thank you to Principal Daniels and to Mr. Quentin Bonds for inviting me to speak. Only 6 years ago, I remember being in the same room, sitting in those same seats with the same red robes on. And all I was thinking about was showing everybody my graduation outfit and my heels and then going on the senior overnight. So I won't hold you all too long. First, I would like to acknowledge the hard work of Patrick Henry teachers and administrators. Without them, none of us would be where we are today. I would also like to thank the parents and families that are here today. Thank you for the support, the love, the encouragement, and everything that you have given to your students. I hope that you all are beaming with pride, as many of their accomplishments are also yours to share. Graduates, let's take a moment to thank the Henry staff and your families with a big round of applause. Thank you. When Mr. Bonds first asked me to speak, the years since I graduated flashed through my mind and many questions arose. What have I done with my life? Aren't I too young for this? Graduate speakers are supposed to be celebrities. And although I do have 400 Twitter followers, I don't think that counted me in the ranks of the worthy. After all those thoughts, I realized that I actually have been a few places. I've learned a couple things, and I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to speak with you today. Growing up on the North Side, I unfortunately saw many examples of what I did not want to be. I knew that I wanted a better life, one where struggling from month to month was not inevitable, one where there were no ceilings, no external limits to what I could achieve. My father taught me the value of education at a very young age. He would always say that education is the greatest equalizer. Can you all say that with me? Education is the greatest equalizer. That means if you start here and somebody else is up here, you even the playing field with education. All right, education is the greatest equalizer. And he was an immigrant from Nigeria, so he came here with very little, but education has taken him where he is now, and it wasn't anything else besides that. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My father, my mother, my stepmother, they all worked very hard through dedication and sacrifice to get where they are today. And it was watching them and hearing where they come from and comparing that to where they are now that inspired me to do better. I knew I had to go to college. It wasn't an option for me. I had to do something better and to make them proud. I started my academic journey at La Crèche Preschool, and then I continued on to Bryn Mawr, Olson, and Henry. I have many fond memories of my days in the Henry hallways. I was also an IB diploma candidate and was involved in several groups such as the National Honor Society and Link Crew. I remember screaming my lungs out at Pep Fest, crossing my fingers for wins at the homecoming football games, and of course, practicing my skills for all the dances. I joke, but I feel that Patrick Henry is an amazing school and certainly prepared me to be successful. The fact that I am a Henry graduate is one of the reasons that amidst all the negative publicity that the North Side gets, I stand before you today as just one of many examples that great things do come from the North Side of Minneapolis. Since I made my choice to go to Harvard, I've had a lot of people who come up to me and ask me, well, how did you make your decision? You know, wow, you're so great. And I would like you all to know that I am not the first nor the last Henry graduate headed to Harvard. I am not the first nor the last Patriot that has big goals and is working to achieve them. I personally know of Henry students across the nation who are following their passions, graduating from top colleges, and truly upholding Henry's legacy of success. In 2006, when I left Henry to go to the University of Minnesota, I felt prepared for the next chapter of my journey. I was blessed in that I received several significant scholarships and did not have to pay a dime for my undergraduate career. Thank you. My parents are thankful for that.
Amen.
I headed to the U, ready to get involved, meet new people, and begin the college life I had dreamed of. My hard work from kindergarten through senior year had finally paid off. Once there, everything was not all roses. I learned a few lessons about time management, diversity, and leadership while there, but that is indeed the reason why I went, to advance academically and also to develop personally. While in college, I got to do things I had never imagined, such as studying abroad in Jamaica and London. Doing so allowed me to see how we fit into the world scope and helped me to become a better global citizen. Additionally, I was able to conduct research with nationally known professors, be a part of student groups that hosted major events, and connect with a variety of students from around the world. It was an awesome experience for me and definitely pushed me to set my sights higher, hence my desire now to go to graduate school to obtain a master's degree and at some point to receive a PhD. Every step helps to prepare for the next. Henry prepared me for the U of M, which prepared me for Harvard, and now who knows what Harvard will prepare me for. I'm excited to find out. However, I'm not here to brag about myself or to tell you to follow my path. I know that college is not the path for every graduate here. It may never be, or it may be later in life when the time is right. However, I am here to tell you that I was once in your shoes, and I set goals to where I wanted to be, and am still working hard to achieve them. You can do the same thing, but nothing is handed to you. You have to go out and create the life that you want to live. You can do that by connecting with the right people, keeping a positive outlook, taking advantage of all available resources, and making good choices. Throughout life, I have learned that you cannot allow people nor the status quo to dictate your life. The statistics show that the North Side has some work to do, which is indeed true. Is every senior student at every Minneapolis Public School graduating this year? No, not yet, but you are. You are helping to illustrate that there are students who are successful. There are proud community members. There are young people who will go out and do amazing things. In my life, I have been the exception to the rule in many cases. Sometimes things only seem impossible until someone does them. Your story is still being written. You are now turning over a fresh page, so you have to take the pen. Just because everyone else hasn't done X, Y, Z yet doesn't mean that you can. But what you cannot afford to do is to allow news stories, stereotypes, or those who aren't doing anything hold you back. You must be the exception and prove all the negative forces wrong. You are the inspiration for the next generation. You can determine what your life looks like through the choices that you make now. For some of you, life after graduation will be a new opportunity for you to move into your adult life making better decisions than you have in the past. Now is the time to begin thinking about who you are and where you are headed. Recently, I'm sure that people have bombarded you all with questions. Has anyone heard the question, so what are you doing after high school? Anybody? Anybody heard that question? What college are you going to? How are you going to save the world, right? It can be a lot of pressure. Well-intentioned people can make you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But newsflash, it isn't. Each of you will probably go on to do something great, but in your own time and in your own way. Everyone is not purposed to be a doctor or a lawyer, but you can use whatever talents that you do have to make a difference. The world has many, many areas that need improving. So figure out what you love to do and where you fit, and let that be your contribution. The world does need what you have to offer. I would like to end today with a short story by Wangari Maathai about taking action and doing what you can do. There once was a forest being consumed by a huge fire. All of the animals were watching the blaze, feeling helpless and totally overwhelmed. However, there was one tiny hummingbird who chose to act. You all know how small a hummingbird is, right? Very, very tiny, right? This hummingbird flew to the pond and sipped up one little drop of water, which was all that his little beak could fit, and he went back to drop it on the fire. Then he quickly went back and forth for more, bringing one drop of water back and forth on this huge fire. As the other animals stood around watching, they laughed at him and said, "You're so small. The fire is so big. How do you think you're going to help?" The hummingbird replied, "I am doing the best that I can." And at least he was doing something. So as you all begin your journey after today, I challenge you to be hummingbirds. Note that you may not be able to solve all of the world's problems, but don't sit around letting life pass you by. Be the best that you can at whatever it is that you decide to do. Know that you are a Patrick Henry Patriot, and that in itself means that you have the potential and the capability to be great. Look to those who have come before you and continue to pave the way for those who will come after you. Congratulations to the class of 2012. We are very proud of you.
Thank you, Ms. Jasmine Omorogbe, class of 2006. Principal Daniels, the students seated before us have achieved extraordinary success at home, school, and in the community.